preparing for the kids and getting things ready. I'm asking her to stay down today, and they will. And you might think, wow, that's going to be rough on me, but that will keep me focused to say what I need to say in about 3 to 10 minutes. So I want to tell you this, that just as I may not get through this, but as I was watching the teenagers come for communion, the little ones come. They're young, and I understand they're a part of things, and it might not be as much of a statement in some ways. However, the commitments I made to God at 6 are as real as the ones I make today. Those things that I did in my heart when I was just 6 years old, honestly, I made commitments to God that I'm still keeping, and that He still holds me to, that He still pulls on my heart. My heart at that age, as little as I was, made covenant with God that I trusted Him and He accepted me. And so that's why we don't restrict age. We say any step that anyone at any age takes towards God, we like it. So come. Just want you to understand you're coming to say, my trust is in Jesus. That it's a step towards Jesus. But when I saw teenagers come today, of their own volition, take communion and go back to their seats and pray, they're not coming because somebody else. They chose to come. A teenager is at that point where they're deciding to be their own person. And they're not doing things. They're more likely to not do things because somebody else is. And when I saw them, I see them every Sunday, but just for some reason today, it was. To see the next generation say, I'm taking this cup and I'm taking this bread because I know Jesus is the answer. It just meant something to me today. I don't know. Anyway, I just wanted to put that out there. The heart was full, and I realized coming because I want to, because they just as easily they could sit in this seat. Nobody would pressure them or think anything different. But they wanted to take the cup and take the bread. And by doing that, saying, I'm looking to Jesus. I'm taking this much step. And it doesn't matter the depth of the step to me at this point. Any step anyone takes. A little guy here today, when I was preaching earlier to those guys, and I asked, who you go to, and I forget just how I asked the question, but boy, just raised up and said, God. That's where we're going. And he knew it in a minute. There's this age thing. When you become important to God? When you're conceived. When you were conceived, God knew you. And He started watching over you. The Word says He formed. I may never get to anything I have in the notes, but if I'm going to do this 3 to 10, I better start working on it. Psalms chapter 50. Call. One reason I'm going to do this short and quick today is because if you were really listening to the words of the worship, then God has already done a work in your heart. And I would encourage you in worship, if you do nothing else, to listen to the words and what they're saying. Every song is chosen based on the content that it has in the Word. And every song that is chosen has truth in it based on who Jesus is and what He did and what He said. Focuses on Him and our call to be His disciples. And we choose to worship songs based on that. So if you really listen to the words of the song, you've already had church. And that's why we do it. And the melody helps unlock your heart. We're a church that worships longer than most churches. But the reason for that is to give you a chance to open up your heart to God. So hopefully you'll come in, even if you had a terrible week, and it starts off tough for you. By the time you get to the end of the songs, your heart has expressed emotion and worship and expressed things to God, and you've opened up your heart to God. That's the purpose of our worship. So if you've done that today, you've already heard a lot of words, already made a lot of confessions from your heart concerning God. Short call, Psalms chapter 50. The mighty God, even the Lord, hath spoken and called the earth from the rising of the sun unto the going down thereof. That makes him God. Everything that exists, he called it into being. He's God. And this is a strong focus on, we're going to let God be God. We're going to exalt the Lord. He is God. Out of Zion, the perfection of beauty, God hath shined. So God, out of his holy Son, has shined the perfection of beauty. Not only is he God, but he's awesome in his beauty and his wonder. He can be trusted. Beauty is not if someone's going to do evil to you. That's not beauty. Evil is not if someone's going to forget you or abuse you in some way. That's evil. Beauty is what God is. It's full of love and grace, acceptance, and salvation and redemption. The beauty of who God is there's no words to describe what he's really like. And that's my heart's desire, that we all could come and get a glimpse of his beauty and desire it. When you see something really beautiful, you want to get closer, want a better look, may even want to touch it. You go, I wish that kind of relationship could come into all of our hearts with God, that we want to get closer to him, we want to touch him, we want to feel him, we want to look at his face and say, because he is full of awe and full of wonder. Our God shall come and shall not keep silent. The fire shall devour before him, and it shall be very tempestuous round about him. He is in control. Nothing stands before him. When he shines his light, when he comes with his fire, he's God. He's there. He shall call to the heavens from the above and the earth, that he may judge his people. Gather my saints together unto me, those that have made a covenant with me by sacrifice. And the heavens shall declare his righteousness, for God is judge. So now we've established God. We're putting that place. He's judge. And he does some things, says some things here that are dealing with Israel and their failure to have a true relationship with him. Hear, O my people, and I will speak, O Israel, I will testify against thee. I am God, even thy God. I will not reprove thee for thy sacrifices or thy burnt offerings to have been continually before me. I will take no bullock out of thy house, nor he-goats out of thy fields, for every beast of the forest is mine, and the cattle upon 1,000 hills. I know all the fowls of the mountains, and the wild beasts of the fields are mine. If I were hungry, I would not tell you, for the world is mine, and the fullness thereof. Will I eat the flesh of bulls or drink the blood of goats? Stop there and sin. I don't have to have what you have. I don't want you for what you can give me. I'm not calling to you to see what you might give me because I'm hungry or because you've got to feed me or I need something. What does he want? Offer unto God thanksgiving and pay thy vows unto the Most High and call upon me in the day of trouble, and I will deliver you, and thou shalt glorify me. Don't need you to give me stuff. If I'm hungry, you don't have to feed me. What do I need? Pay your vows. Offer thanksgiving. Let me be this God. Give thanks to me for who I am, and keep your commitment to me. Make your commitment to me real. I talked to you earlier about the commitments I made as a 6-year-old, and some of them may have even been younger than that. What did he say he would do? I will deliver you, and you will glorify me. That's the relationship we have with God. He's the deliverer of us. He's our deliverer. He delivers our lives, and we glorify him. So, my 10 minutes is up, I'm sure. Let's run through this real quick. Make those commitments. Somewhere in your life you have said, God, you mean more to me than anything else. What he called for. He said, if you told the rich young ruler, go sell all that you have and come follow me. When he asked him what he needed to do. Go sell everything you have and come follow me. Couldn't make that commitment and made Jesus sad because he loved him. Why does Jesus want you to abandon yourself and give all? Because he loves you. He wants that relationship with you. He wants you. He wants to be all that you need, and he wants you to be totally free to abandon yourself to him for that which is good. Because the only good things there are found in God. When you abandon yourself to him, you find what's good. Said the kingdom of heaven is like a field. Treasure in it. Guy finds the treasure. He hides it and runs and sells everything he has and goes back to buy the field so he can have that treasure. There's a treasure in that field. I'm selling everything to get the field. Is that our heart concerning the kingdom? Would you sell everything that you have to buy the kingdom? Does it mean more to you than houses and land and family and reputation. You know, Jesus called us in such a way that if you have to walk away even from family to follow Jesus, you have to do it. Nothing more precious than family to us. Like a pearl merchant. Kingdom of Heaven's like a merchant that sells pearls. Found a pearl that was beyond all price. Went and sold everything he had so he could buy that pearl. That's the kind of thing I'm talking about when Jesus was talking with Peter. So, Peter, do you love me more than all these? In John chapter 20, do you love me more than all these? So that's the question. What vows have you made to God? Have you at some time told him that he meant more to you than anything else? Have you at some time opened your heart to say, God, I'll put you first? Have you at some time taken that communion and said, God, I put my trust in you, that you died for me, and I accept that? Have you kept that commitment, that relationship? God says, I don't need all the offerings and the sacrifices and things. I need you to give thanks to me for being this God and to keep the commitments that you made to me, giving your life to me. When you do, I'll deliver you and you'll glorify me. Wouldn't you like for that to be the case, that everything you do glorifies God? This simple message, I managed to keep it a little bit shorter than I do sometimes. But because it's short doesn't mean it's not important. Haven't the kids been good today? Isn't that awesome? And that's the way they are in the early service, too. They just right there listening. I love him for it. I thank God that he's here. Because if God's not here, and it's just words that I say, they have no power. But the words that Jesus has said, which is the words I've shared with you today, the Spirit and life. And to believe them will transform your life. To believe what God has said will change you. Will save you. His words will save you. So our hope is where our hope is in the Lord. I will lift my eyes into the hill. Where's my help come from? My help comes from the Lord, the maker of heaven and earth. He made it all. He knows how to save. He knows how to deliver. The promise today that he gave, I will deliver you. You will glorify me. If that happens in my life, that's all I want to have such a heart towards God that totally abandoning myself to him is all that matters. That I will forsake everything. What did he say? You lose your life, you fight it. Are you ready to lose your life? Ready to keep those vows? I bet every one of us at one time has said yes to God. That maybe some of us very, very young have said yes to God. Yes, I'll do what you want. There was a moment when realization came. He is God. And I could say yes, and you did. Keep that commitment. Keep that commitment. Give thanks to God. He'll deliver you. You'll glorify him. Pray with me. Father, we want to keep our commitment. I remember when I said yes to you. I want to keep that breath and live it out so that you can deliver me and I can glorify you. In Jesus' name.